Hello everyone, this is Siren, and today I am bringing you a Street Fighter 6 Challenger deck unboxing courtesy of UVS Games. They were so kind and sent me the Chun-Li mat and one copy of each of the Street Fighter 6 Challenger series decks. Chun-Li and Jamie versus Ryu and Luke. Essentially an idea of technique and finesse versus brawn and muscle. Super cool to see these fighting games coming back into the game, and I'm very excited for that idea. I think these are some of the best Challenger Series decks they've made in quite a while, and so that makes me really happy to be able to bring them to you. But first, let's get into our Chun-Li map. Chun-Li is definitely my favorite character, but I don't have any kind of sentimental attachment to Street Fighter. So seeing this mat in person and on the reveals, I can already see it a little bit here on the side, but definitely pulling it out of the box right here, I can see these really nice pretty purple colors and these yellows and reds that really accent onto those much more than you would think. It's definitely giving a Street Fighter, but more spray paint idea, and you can see there's this rubber edging on the end. Really love that. So this will definitely become one of my main playmats from now on. I think this is a really sick playmat. I really love the idea of these really vibrant colors all clashing together in this street style spray paint idea. So definitely going to become a new favorite. And you know that again, that's stitched edging. I just can't believe that they put stitched edging onto a playmat you get from the store. But without further ado, we have Ryu and Luke to show off. This is definitely my favorite of the two Challenger Series decks, but I think both are equally powerful. I just really enjoy Ryu and what he's doing. So, pro tip, you can open it from the bottom to kind of preserve your box somewhere. And it sometimes can be a little bit easier. Personally, I prefer to do it this way, but UVS has started to include these tear tabs on the top right here, which is really nice just for people who don't want to open it from the bottom. But I like to keep my boxes. I like to kind of preserve things like this. So, but anyway, when you get into your Street Fighter 6 Challenger deck, you have a collector booster pack. This will contain alt arts and or foil cards from the Street Fighter 6 Challenger series decks. Very cool, very fun. Just alt arts, nothing exclusive, but more just shiny cards. Next, you'll have this little collector booklet slash starter guide. Very nice to include these in our Challenger Series decks. These are our players' first foray into competitive UVS, so it's very nice to see something like this. And the collector booklet, not my thing, but you know, for anyone who wants that, it's there. And then last but not least, you have the world's mortal enemy, Tape. Tape is definitely something that likes to fight me, but I got the right side off pretty easy, but here we are. I'm going to struggle with my left side, of course. But let me get the knife and cut this open. Tape is a known enemy of many sirens, so that's... But we're going to get through it. We have a knife. We'll get through this. Moving on to the deck, though, it is wrapped in this really tight cellophane, which is typically hard for me to pull off, but thankfully they include these really nice tear tabs, which I no longer take for granted after playing a few games that did not have these. Yeah. But the cellophane's really nice to just be able to take it off and keep your cards nice and protected in that little box. But without further ado, we have Ryu, World Warrior, a brawler, 6 hand size, 32 health character. With Enhanced Tenacious, your non-tech, non-weapon attack gets +2 damage. Response commit after an attack is completely blocked, draw 3 cards, add 1 card from your hand to the top of your deck. Void, Fire, and all symbols. This guy has a lot going for him. His school of fighting seems to be something more of controlling fate, controlling the fight, and making sure you have complete control over your opponent and yourself. His student, Luke Sullivan, Gym Coach, a brawler, 6 hand size, 30 health character. With Enhanced, this attack gets +1 or -1 speed. Then if this attack speed is 5, it gets +2 or -2 damage. Response once per turn, after an attack is completely blocked, look at the top card of your deck, you may discard it. All earth and fire symbols. You can kind of see the teachings that Ryu is passing down to Luke with his response, but definitely he plays these 4 difficulty, 4-for-4 attacks very well that we've been seeing a lot of lately. But yeah, he's super cool. I think he's being able to say, yeah. And then we have Avenger and Impaler. Blitz Drive 1, if this attack is not blocked, draw 2 cards and discard 1 card. Super strong effect on a 3-diff, 3-check, 4-high for 2. You know, you play this late, so they won't block it. Next is Hashogeki. A 4 diff 3 check 4 mid for 4 with response after the attack deals damage, add 1 card from your hand to your momentum. In response, drive 1 after the attack resolves, add 1 card from your stage to the top of your deck. I think this card is super, super cool, being able to guarantee your checks and being able to play with your momentum some. Next is Pale Rider, a 5 diff 3 check 4 low for 5 with Echo, Fury, Punch, and Slam. Blitz drive 1, you may clear one other card. You may clear one other attack from your card pool rather than spending 1 momentum to pay the cost of this attack's Echo ability. Super cool to be able to just figure out cards from your card pool as Echo and being able to save your momentum. I really, really like the design of this card, and I'm very excited to see it do some cool things. Next, we have Rising Uppercut, the new reversal but not reversal. 4 diff 3 check, 4 high for 4, with the punch keyword. When you try to block a non-ranged high attack with this card, reduce that attack speed to 4. Response, drive 1. After you completely block an attack with this card, try to play this card as an attack after that attack resolves. 0 high block. This is very much my Flame Aura, my beloved card, my plus ultra of this set of this current day and age. So while people are really excited for the reversal part, that's my personal favorite is the Flame Aura / plus ultra idea. But being able to use both on one card, super, super sick and super, super cool to have that kind of flexibility in your play. I think these will definitely spice up the meta in a certain sense. Just in general, like, I think this will create a lot of new ideas and new decks. Next we have Shin Hashogeki, a 5 diff 3 check 6 mid for 4 with powerful 3 charge, fury, and slam. Response after this attack receives a damage bonus of 2 or greater, your rival commits 1 foundation. I think this is really cool in all these little tiny buff stat decks. These decks that are giving all of the stats in one go, not so much, but these little plus 2 damage here, plus 2 damage here, plus 3 damage here, these peak style decks are super, super cool with this card. Unfortunately, she can't play this card, but I'm sure there will be a character who can do it in the future, who takes great advantage of it. Next is the Unending Path, a 3 diff 5 check response. Once per turn after an attack is blocked, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Add any number of them to your discard pile. If your opponent has 10 or more foundations, draw 1 card. Definitely that school of thought definitely school of fighting we were thinking about with Ryu earlier, taking control of the fight and taking control of the future in the fight. This is a super cool foundation, and I'm very excited to see it getting played since All has not gotten a lot of support. Next we have Burnout. This card's okay. I don't think there's anything crazy, so I'm not going to go over it a ton, but I think it's a neat card. Definitely something I would touch on maybe in the future, but for now, nothing crazy. Next we have... Actually, wait. We can stun one with this if we play it as a block. That's pretty cool. Anyway, Crouching Medium Kick. 4 low for response after this attack is damage, your next attack is damage. Gotta love that it's a medium kick and it's a low attack. Next we have Luke Sweep, the new flavor on Fajin Flurry. A 2 low for 7 response after you play this attack. EX ability, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. With EX2, this is pretty cool, but we can make this even cooler with things like Surprising Strength and other cards that give us new instances of EX, so we can just continually pump it. Next is Sandblast, one of my personal favorites from the set. Blitz, if your rival has not taken damage this turn, commit 1 rival foundation with difficulty 1 or less. A 4/3 6 mid for 2 that just says selectively commit 1. I'm super down to be playing this card. Super, super cool in certain characters that are lacking that board control. Next is Solar Plexus Strike. Response after this attack deals damage, choose 1 card in your rival's discard pile and add it to the top of their deck. Super, super cool card. I don't think it'll see like a ton of major wide success play, but I think this will see a play in a certain number of decks that are looking for something. Either it's that check hacking / manipulation style, or it's simply the punch keyword. I don't know, but I think this is still a super, super cool idea for a card, being able to mess with your opponent's top deck. Next is Battle Holds Answers, a 2 diff 6 check, enhance Tenacious, your turn, add this card to the top of your deck. More of that idea of Ryu's wanting to control the fight, wanting to control the flow of the fight and the future of that fight. Being able to just add this card to the top of your deck as a 6 check is super powerful in my opinion. Next is Endlessly Doting, enhance commit. This non-throw attack, it's not -2 speed. If it deals damage, ready this card. One cool thing you can do with this card is against like the King Ghidorah cards. You can commit this for -2 speed, and because it is not a technical throw, it readies the card still, right? So you're able to block this throw, but not a throw, um, just as easily, and still get this enhance off. Super, super cool use of it. There's even worlds where you can make your own throw, your own attack a throw, all these different ideas. It's definitely a card where there's a lot of different avenues and different flavors you can explore with it. So definitely excited to try this thing out and try some different ideas with it that I have. Next is excessively buff forearms. Enhance flip. This attack gets +2 damage. On a 1/5 3 high block spam foundation, this seems like a pretty good ability. Nothing too crazy, but again, it doesn't need to be. It's our spam foundation of the deck. It's more chill than anything and just gives a nice little buff. Definitely pumps up the Shinhagashigokekis though. Next is Fists of the Ages. A 2-5 check enhance commit. This attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. Enhance tenacious flip. This attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. This is a card I'm really wanting to try with the new Armin 4, being able to unflip it and ready it. Armin unflipping it, the June Foundation readying it while it's face down, and essentially saying all of my moves will get +2/+2 for the rest of the turn. Seems pretty powerful to me, and Armin being able to buff that to a +2/+4 definitely seems pretty okay. Next is my favorite card of this deck though, My Fists Solve My Problems. A 1-5 check response flip after an attack is played, change its speed to 4. While it's just more of a simple, on the surface it's more of a simple just Luke Foundation card, it definitely plays around things like Dark Deku, who fire off all these static fired stat bonuses that then you can just set back to 4 so you can block the attack. I think it's a super, super cool way to format this card, and I'm really, really happy we finally have something like this on the Fire Attune symbol. Definitely something we were missing. Next is Not Now, I'm Gaming. A 1-4 check response commit, check a 7 flip after an attack is played, add it to its owner's hand. Love this sense of control, love this bringing back of the check X idea and this use of the mechanic. But super, super cool card. Love this one. Next is Strength and Diligence. A 1-5 check response tenacious flip. After you commit this card to pay a drive cost, ready it. Love seeing that drive is already being kind of compensated for. You know, committing 1 foundation is a very real cost, and so this being able to kind of get around that's pretty nice, especially on the all symbol where it's not gotten a ton of support again. Glad to see it. And then our last foundation is Vagrant Truthseeker. A 1-5 check response drive 1 after you play this card as a block, changes block zone. I think this is one of the coolest cards of the deck. It being an omni block is super, super cool. I think every symbol should have access to cards like these. But yeah, that is the Street Fighter Ryu Luke Challenger deck. Yeah, I think this is one of the more well put together decks that UVS has done for this year, especially the last couple. It's very pick up out of the box and you can play it with either character, and I really like that. I think that's what the Challenger decks need to focus on a lot. But let's go ahead and crack open our collector booster pack. Let's see if we can pull a cool alt-art character or something like that. First we have Street Hero, a very pretty foil card that I'm really enjoying. It comes from the Chun-Li Jamie deck, so we'll go over it when we get to that one. But definitely a cool foiling, definitely a cool looking card. And next we have Azure Kung Fu Instructor, another really pretty foil that comes in that deck. Shifting Gears, another pretty foil, and our alt art is Hashogeki. You can see that it's using the Player 2 model of Ryu, which is super cool. I think it's super neat that we're kind of using that idea of Player 2 alternate costumes for our alternate arts. Definitely a pretty one. Next we have Back Shaver, and then we have Crouching Medium Kick again. Gotta love that Crouching Medium Kick that is a low. But yeah, once again, Hashogeki. I think this card is just really, really pretty. I love the idea that we're proposing with it of using these alternate art characters, alternate costumes, and all that kind of idea. But yeah, that is the Ryu X Luke Challenger deck. I think it's a very powerful Challenger deck. I think it's one of the better designed ones, once again. But moving on to Chun-Li and Jamie, let's see what this school of technique and finesse more has than that school of brawn and pure power. Once again, I'll open it from the bottom, which is what I prefer to do. But once again, you get the same contents. You get 1 collector booster pack for Street Fighter 6. You get your 1 little booklet of collector booklet / starter rule set. And once again, we encounter our mortal enemy tape. grab the knife real quick, and we'll just cut this open. Once again, tape the mortal enemy of all sirens. Super cool though that they package it so well. If nothing else, right? This open. Yep. And once again, they have this really tight cellophane on it, which protects the cards, but I'm really glad that they have this little, like, protector thing, so I don't feel like I'm going to break my cards. I'm always nervous about damaging them, and that kind of eases the fear a little bit. But the dancing star of this set is Chun-Li, martial arts master. Maybe not as dancing as her student, but she is a brawler with 6 hand size, 31 health. Enhance, once per turn, clear 1 kick card from your card pool, ready a foundation, your attack gets +2 speed. Response, after your attack is completely blocked, your rival freezes 1 committed foundation. Next is Jamie CU, the peacekeeping breakdancer. Brawler, 7 hand size, 22 health. With response, commit once per turn. After you play an attack, add 1 drink counter to this character, or to this card. Enhance Tenacious, your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each drink counter on this card with a max of 4. If your attack is completely blocked, ready this card. Definitely a super cool character. I think he's really cool under the air, fire, water symbols, showcasing that very fiery aggro style approach that he's going to have. Our first highlight card is Aerial Kikisho, the 6 diff 3 check reversal, not reversal from this deck. A 4 high for 7 charge Fury. With response, hand drive 1. Add this card to your card pool. After a completely blocked attack resolves, try to play this attack from your card pool. It gets -2 difficulty and +2 speed, so becoming a 4 high, 6 high for 4 diff, 6 high for 7 seems pretty fine. But yeah, definitely super cool to see how this one evolves. Next we have Arrow Kick, a 4 diff, 3 check, 4 low for 4. After you play this attack, it gets +2 speed if your character is ready, or +2 damage if your character is committed. Super cool with Jamie because you can kind of choose what order you want to fire off these responses, right? So you can either pick the damage or the speed depending on if Jamie is ready or committed. But super cool idea, super neat interaction that's already popping up just from this deck alone. Our next card is Break-In, my personal favorite from this deck. A 5 diff, 3 check, 5 mid for 5. With response, drive 1. After you play this attack, add 1 drink counter to your character or ready your character. I think this is really cool under the water symbol with characters like Bui, who can reform twice, do things they were never really meant to do in a sense, but still is balanced around that, you know, having the drive 1 essentially being a 6 difficulty attack. I think it's perfectly fine, but I think it's a really cool design space to start exploring. Yeah. Super neat. Next is 100 Lightning Kicks. A stun 1 kick, 5 diff, 3 check, 4 mid for 5. With when this card is cleared from your card pool during the combat phase, your rival loses 1 health. This effect cannot reduce your rival's health below 1. And then response, your turn, discard 1 card. After this card leaves your card pool, add it to your hand. We've been seeing a lot of these like recycle cards, getting cards from your discard into your hand, and this is a great example of that. Recycling itself by discarding a card from your hand and clearing, getting a bonus by burning them for 1. Super cool card. I'm very glad to see a card like this and kicks becoming more of a real strategy with the Street Fighter 6 decks. Next is Phantom Sway, 5 diff, 3 check, 4 low for 5, blitz, drive 1, commit, and freeze 1 rival foundation. This might seem a little familiar. It is kind of like Chimera Kraken, but being a low attack is super valuable, I think. So this definitely will find a home in different decks, being water attuned as well. It's not playable everywhere Kraken is, and vice versa. But next is Dance of the Phoenix, the 3 diff, 5 check foundation. Response once per turn. After your attack is completely blocked, or after your attack is blocked, your rival freezes 1 committed 1 foundation. If your rival has 10 or more foundations, commit freeze 1 rival foundation. The dance, the school of thought and fighting that Chun-Li is providing, keeping her opponents down while they're down, and Ryu is more taking control of the fight. Definitely cool to see the dichotomy in these two foundations comparatively. Next though is Drive Parry, probably my favorite of the 2 action cards between Burnout and Drive Parry. Being able to play this card and ready a foundation in the block or just free cancel something is super powerful and super cool. Back Shaver, a 4 diff, 3 check throw. It's a pretty cool attack. I think this one's neat, being able to freeze a rival foundation, showing that idea more of just holding them while they're down. Next is Fallen Crane. Response after this attack is not blocked. After this attack is blocked, Your rival adds the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. A certain Leatherhead from TMNT will really enjoy this card, but I think this is just a really, really cool card concept idea. Being able to, stuff their card pool, say +1 to your speed for the turn, and as a kick. Super, super cool in my opinion. Next is Swagger Step, a 3-3 check blitz. If you have ready to card in your stageless combat phase, this deck gets +1 speed and +1 damage. Starting as a 4 mid for 5 if we've readied anything. Jamie turning it into a 5 mid for 6 if we've gotten a drink counter. Super, super powerful card, I think, in him, and I think it will definitely be a card mained in him outside of the City Rampage build. Tencho Kicks, a 4-diff 3-check 4 high for 4. While this card is in your card pool, your rival's high attacks get -2 speed. Response card pool, after your kick attack deals damage, your rival loses 1 health. Definitely a super cool card. Really loving this idea of card pool responses and kick attacks becoming a more legitimate strategy. I really love kicking. I love the kick archetype, so yeah. Next is Azure Kung Fu Instructor, a 1-diff 6-check sacrifice, add 1 kick card from your discard pile to your card pool. Super, super cool. With all these card pool effects, this is going to be really handy in Chun-Li. Next is Elegance and Beauty. With the kick keyword, enhanced commit, this attack gets -2 speed. Really nice, what's the word? Spam Foundation. Yeah, really nice Spam Foundation. Definitely fits the deck. Next is Guardian Angel of Chinatown. Response flip, after your rival plays an ability that reduces the damage of your attack. Its damage cannot be reduced by your rival's effects this turn. This is super, super powerful right now with all the DR that's going around, so I'm very happy to see a card like this, as I think it's going to find a place in a lot of different decks, and I think it's something every player should be prepared to face down. Next, though, is Hate's Lectures. Response flip, after you play a kick card, it gains Breaker 2. This is going to be really cool in all of these new kick-focused decks that Chun-Li and Jamie are bringing out. 2-diff 4-check Foundation is a little rough, but I think the benefit is there for it, considering it's just a flip cost and not a commit cost. But definitely super, super cool. Next is Inherited Will. More of just that kick idea. Remove a kick card from your discard pile. This deck gets +2 speed. Nothing too crazy, but it is just showcasing that kick idea more. We're trying to make kicks a real thing, and putting it on these foundations makes this cost a little lighter. Next is Shifting Gears. Enhance commit, your attack gets +2 damage. If it is completely blocked, your next attack gets +2 speed. This is showing the Jamie idea of, do you want to block my early attacks while they're a lot weaker, or do you want to wait and block my later ones, hoping I can't get to them, right? Street Hero, 1-diff 5-check flip, add 1 card from your card pool to your hand, only playable if you have blocked 2 or more attacks this turn. This might seem kind of familiar as a certain card called Struggling with Steadies. While it's not as generically powerful, I think this card is still super, super cool, and definitely find a home in many, many different decks. And our last foundation for the Chun-Li Jamie deck is Young Boss of Chinatown. Response Tenacious flip, after your rival's combat phase begins, ready this foundation. An effect that we see a lot with things like Nice Try, and we definitely want in a card. So it being on a 1-diff 5-check spam foundation seems pretty good to me. But that is the Chun-Li and Jamie starter deck. Definitely a little bit more diverse compared to the Ryu and Luke one, but I think it is equally as competitive straight out of the box. Jamie is definitely a peacekeeping breakdancer, to say the least. But yeah, I think both of these, while Chun-Li might not be as meta relevant, I think Jamie will definitely see the meta. But let's crack open our collector booster pack. Let's hopefully maybe we can pull that alt art character. But we gotta always my fist solve my problems. Definitely one I wanted to pull, as I really love this card and really love the art on it. Next is Strength and Diligence, Inherited Will, Avenger Impaler. That idea of the second player alt art costumes being shown once again on this alt art, very, very lovely. Swagger Step, and Tencho Kicks. A super, super cool little pack of alt arts that we got. I'm very, very happy with these. Once again, I want to say thank you to UVS Games for sending these to me. We've got our beautiful alt arts, our beautiful shiny versions of our commons and uncommons, our great teachers, and our young students learning from their teachers. I think this set of decks is really, really great as a Challenger Series. I think this is showing what the Challenger Series is supposed to be, and it's supposed to be this dichotomy of 2 different characters. But Nonetheless, I just want to say thank you both to UVS Games and to you guys. I never would have been able to do something like this if not for y'all watching me, so thank you. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, comment. Tell me what cards you're most excited out of this deck. Are you excited to build a Street Fighter character or just play with the new cards and play with the new toys? But again, I'm just very excited to be able to play with these cards. I think Ryu is super cool. I think some of the cards Luke's bringing are super neat. I think Jamie's super cool. But anyway, I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.